All right, let's go to this conversation now. High-profile members of the African National Congress could potentially be prohibited from being selected as candidates for Parliament. This as the ANC's Integrity Commission has issued a report recommending that more than 90 members be excluded from the party's election candidate lists. Now, the report, which flagged ANC members implicated in, was recently handed over to the party's Secretary General and Fikile Mbalula ahead of the March 8th deadline for the political parties to submit their candidate lists to the Electoral Commission of South Africa. Let's discuss this further now. We speak to the Youth League's Secretary General, Mntuwoxolo Ngudle. Thank you so much, Mr. Ngudle, for your time this evening. Let's start with, yesterday the Secretary General on the sidelines of the NEC meeting saying that the process is going to be rigorous, but the cases will be dealt with on a case-by-case basis. So how rigorous is it likely to be?
Thanks, Bongi. Greetings to you and the viewers at home. The ANC, in its own extended National Executive Committee, took a decision that it must do a rigorous vetting process into the public representatives that is going to be standing into Parliament in order to ensure that the individuals that are part of the collective leadership of the ANC that is going to be forming part of public representatives are people with ethical leadership who have no record of serious crimes like fraud, corruption, murder, rape, and all of that. So the process is really going to be very rigorous so that we ensure that as part of the ANC's organizational renewal and renewal of society, the ANC is able to show society that the society has to renew, but also that the ANC itself has taken a path, a very difficult path of purging itself, ensuring that it becomes a renewed organization that has got ethical leadership in order for society as a whole to renew and ensure that the drive for development and social change in South Africa is driven by people who are having the necessary integrity.
So is it going to include a differentiation between someone, for example, facing allegations and someone who's already been charged? Is that going to be, part of this process, or are you going to lump them into one group?
This is very clear about its step-aside rule talks about people who are charged. It doesn't talk about people who are merely alleged. But if you are alleged of serious crimes, the ANC would have requested those particular individuals to be to show themselves into the ANC's Integrity Commission in order to determine whether the individuals can be able to be the face of the ANC in terms of public representatives. If the Integrity Commission would have determined that your crimes are too serious for you to be able to be our representative, then you are withdrawn from the list immediately.
So does this mean then that those who have, come before it and were said then to not be, according to the Integrity Commission, eligible to run, we will not see their names? Is that what you're saying? Those people who have serious allegations, we are not going to see their names post this?
Those people who are charged with serious crimes, you will not see them.
And the ones facing serious allegations?
Those who are facing serious allegations, those allegations in terms of their merits will be determined by the Integrity Commission, of the ANC. Those are senior veterans of the movement who have been part of the ANC over a period of 40 years and above, who understand the values and the value systems of what the ANC is all about and it represents in terms of its organizational principles.
Is the party willing, though, to go into an election with people who have allegations hanging above their heads? What does that say about the seriousness then to deal with issues of corruption?
Bongi, an allegation. Remember, we are a human rights organization, much as we are a political organization. What we can't do is to violate individuals' rights in the process of attempting to be a renewed movement. What we are saying is that the ANC whispers to each and every individual who's faced with serious crimes and say, withdraw yourself before we can be able to erect certain sections of the Constitution, like Section 20.7 of the Constitution. So we then are going to be weighing the crimes as individuals, as individual crimes of all individuals, so that you don't subject people into a kangaroo court.
Do you still need to whisper, though, or should it be louder voices to be decisive about this issue? Because I tell you what, South Africans look to the issue of corruption, and they say that these whispers simply do not help, but the voices need to be louder and there needs to be decisive action.
Well, yeah, I'm saying to you, the ANC has taken a decision that it subjects all its candidates into this particular rigorous process. Now, that's a very bold decision. No organization does that in South Africa. It's only the African National Congress. And we know that we're a leader of society, and therefore, if we renew ourselves as an organization, we will also renew society in terms of ethical leadership. Now, when I'm saying whispering, we're appealing to individual conscience that they must withdraw themselves when they know they've got allegations.
And if they don't withdraw, and if they don't withdraw because they say that you know their conscience for them does not tell them to withdraw, what do you do then?
The ANC Constitution empowers the Secretary General of the ANC to effect certain sections of the Constitution to individuals who have got these particular serious crimes if they've not withdrawn themselves. So there's a decision even to that. If you have not withdrawn yourself and you know you have got serious crimes and allegations against you, you are going to be withdrawn.
All right, let's see then what the final list looks like. But before I let you go, I'm keen to hear your thoughts on this one, because you speak about your Secretary General. He was tweeting earlier on the resignation of Nathi Nhleko, and I'm quoting, "I see Nathi Nhleko has resigned from the ANC and he blames it on me. What a cheap way out. This fellow told the whole country that a swimming pool is a fire pool. He replaced a competent police officer, Dramat, crime fighter, with an apartheid disastrous erratic cop called Burning in Temeza, whom I showed the door immediately when I took over as a police minister. Wait till I tell you what he advised me to do at a handover meeting." Your first impressions on this?
My first impression is that the SG is just commenting about the resignation of Nhleko, and it's nothing organizational. It's an individual decision of Nhleko to resign from the ANC. Of course, a renewed ANC will not have people who know that they, have no integrity, to be part of a renewed movement as the ANC is renewing itself. So I'm not surprised that people like him and others will be jumping the ship, because a renewed ANC is not going to have every other Tom, Dick and Harry. But
this is the same ANC, according to your Secretary General, that said you were defending Nkandla. He says it's the ANC. Now, yes, of course, Nathi Nhleko at the time was police minister, but your very own Secretary General said that the ANC was defending this. So does it mean that, there won't be anyone left, especially because of how the Nkandla matter was handled?
Look, if you look into the Nkandla matter and look into the program that the ANC has entered into of patching itself, you see, you will then understand that a renewed ANC would have learned out of experience that some of the decisions that it would have taken at a particular period in time were correct, others were not correct. And those that were incorrect, the ANC says, we are correcting them because we have learned out of hindsight that these particular decisions would not have been all right. Any living organism or any living organization would have such decisions that it takes, which may prove over time that we're not correct. And I think there's nothing sinister about that. But accepting it is part of renewal, and correcting it is part of renewal.
Mr. Ngudle, we're out of time. In about 10 seconds then, can you please just help us understand when it comes to the purging and the renewal and the correcting of this decision, when you still have some of those who were in that briefing when we were being played as the media a video that was showing us a swimming pool as a fire pool. Some of them are still in cabinet as we speak. So how are you renewing them?
Remember, when you are in a media briefing, you are not speaking your own views. You are speaking about a report that would have been compiled by different committees, and subsequently you are made to communicate it. So you can't therefore charge an individual who is a communicator on the of a report that was not generated necessarily by him or herself. So based on individual merit of the cases of these particular individuals, the ANC is looking at them. That's why they go through a process called an integrity commission to look whether they were involved and to what extent is their involvement in particular wrongdoing. And therefore, the integrity commission takes a decision on the basis of balance of evidence.
Okay, so many questions, but so little time. Let's see then what the list looks like before that March deadline once it's released. But thank you so much for your time. That is Youth League's Secretary General Mntuwoxolo Ngudle.